What's up, everybody? Welcome to Kinda Funny Games Daily for Tuesday, June 26th, 2018. I'm one of your hosts, Greg Miller, alongside the busiest lady in the business, Andrea Renee.
What's good, Greg?
Your business is good. You're busy.
Yes, it's true. We have lots of stuff going on.
I was telling you when you got here today, I feel like you've been gone a long time, and I haven't talked to you, but I think it's just the fact that you were working so much here, and then we had E3, and then I'd see you at night at E3 things too. Like, I just feel like we are around each other so much that I got used to a daily dose of Andrea Renee.
Well, I apologize. I can't make myself more available, Mr. Miller.
As I keep telling everyone, stop supporting What's Good. Sync What's Good games. Then we can hire Andrea.
Please don't
and then she'll
do
be
that.
here full time. I'm just telling you, this is an option. If you want, take the money from What's Good, take it away, give it to us. We hire Andrea. Everything's fine.
No, don't do that.
Britt Baumrocker, she just fucking stays in Seattle doing whatever she does. Walking on treadmills, playing games. Christine Steimer, movie star in LA. It'd be better life for everybody. You know what I mean?
He's making solid points.
Thank you, Kevin. Thank you.
Can't argue with the champ.
Can't argue with the champ, they say. How was Seattle? You went up to Seattle for a brief minute.
I did. I went for a girls' weekend trip this past weekend because normally when I go to Seattle, I only see the Sheraton and the convention center.
I know that.
So it's like, yeah, so I'm going to go. I'm going to do all the touristy things. We went on the Great Wheel. We went to the Crab Pot, which I know is not one of Seattle's finest, but we also did go. We went to Heartwood Provisions. We went to the Pink Door.
Did you go up in the Needle? I've never been in the Needle.
No, we didn't, because I've done that before, and it's partially under renovation right now. And so I asked my friend, I was like, do you want to go? If you want to go, we can go. And she was like, nah. So we went to the Chihuly Garden, the Glass and Garden Center.
Look at
the
that.
museum, which was amazing, by the way, if you've never gone. It was beautiful, beautiful art.
Okay.
So
Something
it was
to know if
fun.
you're going
And
to
we
PAX.
went wine tasting in Woodinville, and I may have brought a case of wine home. Did you know that you can ship cases of wine or check cases of wine like baggage?
Yeah, I did know that actually, yeah. And if you're ever trying to ship whiskey or bourbon, you're not supposed to do that. But if you go to UPS store in Kentucky and you're like, yeah, I want to ship olive oil, they'll give you the container, you put it in there and you write olive oil on it. You can send it that way.
That's technically advising people to commit a crime, Greg.
I'm advising you on what the bourbon people advised me to do. All right, I'm just letting you know how they did it. There's all sorts of advice here, but mainly it's about video games because this is Kinda Funny Games Daily. Each and every weekday on a variety of platforms, we run you through the nerdy video game news you need to know about. If you like that, be part of the show, kindafunny.com/KFGD with your questions, comments, concerns, bad PSN names, and everything else under the video game sun. Then watch us record it live on twitch.tv/kindafunnygames. If you're in the chat right now live, you have a special job. Go to kindafunny.com/you're wrong and tell us what we screw up as we screw it up so we can set the record straight. For everybody watching later on youtube.com/kindafunnygames and listening on podcast services around the globe. Housekeeping for you. Prom is this week. You need to be using hashtag KFProm for all your Instagram and Twitter posts. Why? Because I like to go home and look at them. When I'm walking a party, I like to click on it and see what's going on. On the Instagram, I like to see what's on the feed, what people are up to. People are starting to arrive. They're already throwing their own little events. They're going out doing cool things in San Francisco. I want to see it all. If you have time, the money, and the inkling, Prom, Saturday night here in San Francisco.
I'm so excited, and I'm keeping my fingers crossed that the weather's going to be perfect.
Is it looking good right now?
It looks like it's going to be 74 degrees and sunny the whole day.
Perfect. That's exactly what we want.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It's going to be great.
I agree. Is everything on lock for your outfit?
I don't have all my accessories finalized.
Okay. Yeah.
And I'm trying to decide if I want to go really crazy with my shoes or if I want to go more practical with my shoes. But dress is ready. You just got to steam it.
Gotcha. Getting
John's suit tailored.
I saw you dropped it off today, right? His pants or something?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Explosion of color.
Explosion of colors. All of the colors.
There's going to be a lot of good photos coming out of hashtag KFProm. I'm very excited for this event. Yeah. We were running through the run of show yesterday. I'm like, oh, this is going to be fun. This is going to be good. This is going to be really, really good stuff.
Yeah, I'm still figuring out what to do with my hair.
Have you talked to Jen about her plan?
A little bit.
Because her stuff is crazy. And then she ordered all these different dresses to figure out what she wanted or whatever. And then when we were brunching on Sunday with everybody after the Kinda Honeys podcast, we went to Goodwill. And I pulled one off the rack. I was like, babe. And she's like, oh my God. And it is perfect for everything she wanted. And so now we have this. And it is.
And now she's got to send all those dresses back.
Exactly. That's what I keep telling her. She wanted one of these. I'm like, no. Let's get the money back.
Yeah.
Also today we're brought to you by for hymns. But I'll tell you about that later. Oh, and also I should point out, tomorrow I'm going over to What's Good Games.
Yes,
and
you
doing
are.
the Detroit spoiler cast with y'all.
That's right. It's going to be great.
That pops on Friday then for everybody, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Friday morning, 8 a.m.
Just letting everybody know.
But if you are one of our patrons, we have a special level where you can get the pre-show live.
See, there you go.
Patreon.com/what'sgoodgames.
There you go.
Greg is going to be hanging out. We're going to be shooting the shit.
That's what we do. That's all we do around here. For now, let's begin the show with what is and forever will be the Roper Report. Time for some news. Wow, you had like a timbre in there. I don't even know what that is. I just know it from like some audio. I'll stop. 5 items on the Roper Report.
A baker's dozen.
Number 1, everybody, be careful. There's a Pokemon Go resurgence happening right now. Mike Minotti over at Venturebeat writes, the augmented reality title has its largest player base since summer 2016, which was when Pokemon Go launched on July 6th. This is according to a new report from the market analysis firm Super Data Research. We've asked Superdata for the specific numbers from both periods, and we'll update this story if we get those. Although the game fell off after its first summer, developer Niantic has been able to build a strong player base with constant updates to the game, including the addition of more Pokemon and new features like trading. According to Superdata, Pokemon Go earned $104 million in May. This is up 174% from the same period last year. The game was the number 4 highest earning mobile title worldwide in May, according to Superdata. Surprising, Andrea?
No.
Why?
I mean, it's because everyone's talking about Pokemon Let's Go, right?
I think, yeah.
And especially after E3 where they, did this giant rollout and then they had hands-on and they talked about the integration between them. It's like, of course, Pokemon inspires this kind of craziness, Everyone wants to get back on the train so that they can import their little pocket monsters into their Switch.
Their pocket monsters into Switch. No, I think that's the biggest part of it, right? Is that obviously this is 174% up in May, which is when they did the Nintendo Direct about Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee, announced all that stuff. And I think was one of those, gotcha moments, aha moments for Goldfarb, who never left Pokemon Go and has been playing it nonstop. And to see his excitement at trades, to see his excitement at the new research even they're adding on classic Pokemon right now. Like, there's a whole bunch of reasons I think that lapsed players, people who had played it when it first came out, got driven away by bugs, got driven away by whatever, are jumping back in now and finding a game that has come a long way and obviously has legs now to the Switch version, which is what all these Nintendo mobile experiences should have. And you hope even Animal Crossing will have some of that when you inevitably get your Switch Animal Crossing.
Well, it was interesting because Britt, who spent several $100s on Pokemon Go, has said that she's not planning to import any of her
she's one of these purists. She wants to get it all again.
Yeah, she wants to catch them all.
She's such a psycho.
Again.
I don't know how you can hang out with this girl. You know what I mean?
She's
a crazy
really fun.
person. She's a crazy person.
That's true.
Okay. I don't know. Goldfarb's importing all his stuff, right?
I don't know.
Kevin?
Only one way to find out.
Give me the Goldfarb jingle.
Goldfarb. We're calling Goldfarb.
That's perfect,
That was
Kevin.
great, Kevin. You crushed it. I mean, you know what I mean? For somebody who didn't, for somebody put on the spot and didn't make a jingle right
Everyone
there.
makes a big deal about Andy, making these things.
I know. We all act like it's so hard, right? And then he
Farted that out of my mouth, you know what I mean?
Oh, he left a voicemail.
Oh, he's like doing a meeting or something. Like actually his job.
Oh, he's on vacation? Oh, right. He's back home. Andrew Goldfarb, it's Greg Miller and Andrea Renee on Kinda Funny Games Daily. I forgot you're on vacation, but of course we have Pokemon Go questions for you, and you're the Pokemon Go man. So I need you to call me back at your earliest convenience in the next 50 minutes. If you don't do it in the next 15 minutes, don't even bother. You're fucking dead to us. I mean, I'm not going to mince words. A lot of people would be out here, they'd mince words. We'll see if he's going to be one of these crazy people like Brittany or revel in everything he's got. I'm pretty sure he's going to do it. I think he's just going to import everybody. Number 2, Andrea.
Yes.
This is one I know you're super excited about and we're going to have a long conversation about.
Yep, ready. Fortnite's
growth might be slowing. This is via Brendan Sinclair at gamesindustry.biz. The Fortnite phenomenon may be cooling off a bit. Superdata today released its worldwide digital game spending report for May, estimating that Epic Games' survival shooter broke $300 million in monthly revenue for the first time, but was only up single-digit percentages month over month. Superdata put Fortnite's revenues for May at $318 million, up 7% from April. Going by the firm's figures, Fortnite's revenues have been up 33% month over month in April and 73% in March. The game's growth in May was powered primarily by the console version, as mobile and PC revenues were essentially flat month over month. You saw this headline. You got very angry at me for putting it on there.
I didn't get very angry.
I tell you what, guys. All the other co-hosts, I'm not afraid of. Andrea, I'm terrified of. All right?
What I
she
said
has this
was-
judgment eye. She has this judgment voice.
I asked, are we really going to do this Fortnite story? Because I don't think that this is very newsworthy.
Mm-hmm.
Just because it has Fortnite in it doesn't mean it's newsworthy. We went through this exact same conversation with
Last
PUBG.
year. This time around this year.
Last year
PUBG.
when I was like, we can't talk about PUBG every damn day. We just have to draw a line somewhere where it's news. Now, I ask you.
You are winning over YouTube commenters worldwide.
Listen,
I've seen it all the time. Oh, more Fortnite.
They already hate me. It's fine.
They're back on your side now.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah, you'll say something else in this episode to drive them back away.
I'm sure. But I will ask, I listened to most of yesterday's show, but did you guys talk about the news that broke over the weekend with the leaker from Epic?
No, I didn't know how to deal with this. I saw it again today, too, that they're taking the guy who leaked the last battle pass or last season content out. They're taking him to court, right?
Right,
Correct.
yeah. So he was a QA tester, a contract quality assurance tester who allegedly, and he apparently admits that he did part of it, leaked information about this whole Meteor thing to a Reddit poster who then, of course, wrote up the whole thing, and then that kicked off all the speculation. And so Epic is suing him, rightly, because he broke his NDA, which is why you don't break NDAs, kids.
Yeah.
Kevin. And it could potentially be a really bad lawsuit for him. He obviously is never going to work in games again.
Yeah.
Which is like, hey, maybe leaking something is totally not worth sacrificing your entire career.
Yeah.
Like, what did you gain out of it?
Yeah, exactly. You got to seem cool to a Reddit poster that you got to give information to, but then this all got traced but right back to you.
More importantly, if you signed a legally binding document, maybe don't break the document that you sign. I don't know. It's frustrating. But I thought that was relevant, interesting news. But it did break on Saturday, I believe. So that's probably why I got kind of lost in the weekend shuffle. But
what I like about the growth slowing is that it's not. And that next month, when they talk about the super data sales, right, it's going to be, again, a huge bump, I bet, because of the Nintendo Switch.
Sure. I absolutely agree with you there. I'm waiting, like many people out there, for what the numbers are going to be like once Fortnite comes to Android. So I think once we see that release finally happen and get off the ground, I think their numbers are just going to skyrocket.
Well, and I think we get back to where we were a year ago when we started this show, and we were talking about PUBG a lot, every month of like, or not even every month, every week. Oh, they broke a new concurrent record of like, what is the ceiling, right? Because this is talking about the fact that, this month or whatever, May, they did break $300 million in monthly revenue. But before then, right, it was 318, and then it was 7% for April or what, you know what I'm saying there.
Wait, I think it's important to point out to everybody that this is an estimated number.
Sure.
That Epic has not released how much money they've actually made. I'm gonna, go out on a limb and say I think they've made way more money than this.
318 for May, you think more?
Yeah, I think that this is important to remember that while Super Data does these kinds of estimates all the time, this is not an Epic Games official number.
Yeah. But I just find it interesting, of like you compare it year over year, 73% in March, 33% in April. Like even there, you see it cooling down because how big can the game get?
Yeah.
But the game continues to keep getting bigger.
But we would gladly take a call from Donald Mustard if he would like to disclose to us exactly how much money Fortnite is making.
Usually I'll call Pete Hines. I'm not going to call Donald on the show.
He's probably in an actual meeting or something.
Yeah, he's actually doing something.
We'll send out a press release. I think I know the publicist over there at Epic. That guy, Nick Chester.
Yeah. You could call him up too. Yeah.
And just be like, Nick, when's Fortnite coming to Android? And then he would hang up on me.
Exactly. Yeah. Nick, I think he owes Kevin an email too.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Is that right, Kevin?
We're in a weird place where we switched over to customer service, and now who knows how long they take to respond.
Okay, cool. We're trying to, fix Kevin's Switch issues here. So many accounts.
And at this point,
and Kevin just kind of jumped into the pool. Yeah, it's too late for this battle pass, but let's get it fixed in the next 12 days. So when the next battle season starts, you're set to go.
You're making a lot of fucking sense.
You gonna buy that $25? You gonna buy that $25 battle pass?
I was thinking of doing the 10 and working my way up to.
Sure. Sure.
But like now that you say it, sounds like a good idea.
I mean, it's just $15 more. You might as well, right? Yeah. All right. I'm in. Number 3. Are you? Where are you with Fortnite? Like, you were ahead of the game. You were one of the people who build the world or save the world. Sorry.
Before it was called Save the World. Yeah, I really love Fortnite. I've been obviously very busy coming out of E3. I still have a lot of backlog, and now The Awesome Adventures of Captain Spirit is out today, so I've got to play that. I haven't finished playing. What haven't I finished playing? Oh, I'm playing Just Shapes and Beats on my Switch.
That's hard. That's a tough game.
No, like it's kicking my ass,
Yeah,
and I think I'm gonna give up.
It's understandable. You can only go so far. We did a party mode of it, and I was like, damn, I'm terrible at this.
Yeah, I'm just like frustrated because I just want to sit there and enjoy the music, and like I have to concentrate so hard.
That's why. You know what else is out today? Luminous Remastered. You want to enjoy some music? Hop on that.
Were you streaming that this morning?
No, we said we were going to, but then in the car ride over, I was like, Kev, you just want to play Fortnite when we get there? And he's like, yeah. So we just...
You motherfuckers.
It was me, Joey, and Kev here playing Fortnite. What can I say? You know what I mean? It's what I'm in the mood for when I want to game.
No, I get it.
Last night, I was when I said let's stream Luminous, I was in the mood for Luminous.
Yeah.
And then I woke up this morning and I'm like, I want to shoot things in the head.
Yeah. This is why I keep going back to Destiny.
Good point. Number 3. Mario Kart is coming to Labo, or Labo's coming to Mario Kart, however you want to cut it. Over at IGN, Adam Bankhurst reports, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe for Nintendo Switch has just received a free update that enables use of the Nintendo Labo Toy-Con motorbike. Using the Labo setup will allow players to utilize the Joy-Con's motion controls to steer, accelerate, and play with all the functionality of simply using the Joy-Cons by themselves, but in a more unique way. The Toy-Con motorbike is sold in the Nintendo Labo Variety Kit, which also includes the piano and fishing rod and can be purchased for $69.99. Dylan B writes in to kindafunny.com/KFGD and says, "What's up, KFGD crew? Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is now compatible with the Labo Motorcycle Toy-Con. This has piqued my interest and made me consider buying Labo for the first time since the announcement. Not just for Mario Kart, but for the possibilities this opens up for other compatible games. Just wondering if you all think this can boost sales and what other games you think could benefit as well. Keep fornicating with that poultry, Dylan B." It's one of those, oh man, I'm glad they finally did this. Announcements, right? Even in the IGN article, they talk about in their review, it was like the motorbike thing that was in the Labo Variety Kit was a glorified demo, and like, so why wouldn't it be here? It makes sense, of course. They're getting another PR beat right now, right? Labo came out, it had its moment on the day that every other video game came out. People built it, they played with it, they put it aside, and now there's this. I think Dylan B is like a lot of gamers out there that are suddenly seeing, oh wow, it's compatible with one of the games I play all the time, or want to play more, or want a different experience with. Right. I will jump in and try that out. I do think that's good for sales, and I do think that they'll see that. Andrew?
I still have yet to play Labo at all. We were going to build it for a What's Good video, and then we like saw everybody else and how like complicated the builds actually were. We're like, maybe we don't do that.
Yeah.
Maybe we find somebody that has it built and we ask if we can borrow it. And then we just
There's only so many hours in the day, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but now that Miss Alexa Ray works at Nintendo, maybe I'll be like, hello, you got some Labo hanging around your house?
She'll be like, no, get out.
Probably.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, Dylan, that you will see this be a boon for Labo in a sense of, I don't think it's going to sell gangbusters because of it, but I do think there's enough people that were on the fence of, that looks interesting, but I don't want something I'm just going to tinker with and never do again. If you have a kid who's super into, or if you yourself are super into Mario Kart 8 Deluxe with motion controls, why not do it this way? Why not get a little driving wheel out of cardboard you can make? And I think this is the future for Labo as well, of it's on shelves, they want to sell it more, what games does it make sense for, and where can they fit it in? I don't know, Nintendo's first party lineup where that fits out super well, because it needs to be motion controls for the most part, right? So like Mario Tennis Aces doesn't
almost
have that
every
option.
Game on Switch has motion controls of some kind.
But like primarily, that's my thing. Like Mario Kart, the tennis, that you don't ever play it as like Wii Tennis. So like it doesn't make sense to sell a Labo racket.
Wouldn't it be great if you could?
No, we had Wii Tennis. We're done.
I was so good at cheesing Wii Tennis. Just the right flick of the wrist.
Oh yeah.
So good.
Yeah, I remember being super into it. Like, this is one of those few times in video games I felt old, of when we were all into Wii, we were all having a great time with that, and like we were at some family gathering, and it was like, oh hey, one of the cousins was like, you want to go downstairs and play Wii bowling? I was like, oh yeah, totally. Well, we went down there, and she climbed up on the couch and sat there, and like every adult was getting up and like doing the real bowling stance. She sat and was just like, and then she was like bowling 300. We're like, fuck, damn it.
See, she's got it figured out.
That's why kids, they're hackers. That was the first hacker I ever met in real life, I think. So I think it'll boost sales. Yeah, Dylan, I don't think it'll be like ginormous, but if they continue to give you reasons to go back and buy Labo, to play Labo, then yes, it will.
Yeah.
And then what other games could benefit from it? A whole bunch of stuff, but then it's like, how much does Nintendo want to put in? Do they want to put into Mario Kart Aces DLC mode for Labo? No, it's got to be something like Mario Kart 8 where it's like, oh, well, you can already kind of drive this way. Why not just include it that way?
Yeah, it'd be interesting to know what their sales numbers for Labo were. Like how well it did?
Yeah. They'll never say, of course.
Probably not.
Unless it does gangbusters, they'll never tell you. Number 4. Microsoft's pulling back its messaging on VR for the Xbox One. This is via Brendan Sinclair over at gamesindustry.biz, and this is an oldie. This happened during E3, it turns out, but I missed it. I saw it today on Reset Air. I was like, oh, this is interesting. It's like, oh my God, during E3, just totally slipped by. Just something to put in your cap when you're thinking about where everybody's at. It was an E3 interview with Microsoft's Chief Marketing Officer for Gaming, Mike Nichols. At the end, Brendan asked one thing, or I guess writes, but then goes into the quote. One thing Microsoft isn't working on right now, at least as it pertains to Xbox, is virtual reality / mixed reality. Quote, we don't have any plans specific to Xbox consoles in virtual reality or mixed realities, Nichols said. Our perspective on it has been and continues to be that the PC is probably the best platform for more immersive VR and MR. As an open platform, it just allows faster and more rapid iteration. There are plenty of companies investing in the hardware side and the content side, or some combination therein. Obviously, on phones, augmented reality is a good scenario, as well as that's going to grow. But as it relates to Xbox, no. Our focus is primarily on experiences you would play on your TV, and ultimately, we'd like to make those experiences more broadly. Obviously, Microsoft was never pounding the table, we're all in on VR, but there was, I think when they did Xbox One X, right? Or Scorpio specs or something. There was like and it could pertain to VR in this way. And it was like, oh, that's interesting. Is it going to be a partnership with Oculus? How is that all going to play out? Where would that work out to? But clearly now, moving away from that.
Yeah, I'm not surprised by this.
No.
It was rumored like 3 years ago Xbox was going to talk about Xbox VR, but after what they've done with HoloLens, I don't know why they would try to jump into VR, particularly because they've probably seen now that while VR still has a very excited enthusiast base, that base is pretty small compared to the rest of the video game market at large. So
100%.
If you're going to put money in somewhere, invest it in your console players instead of in a new piece of hardware.
When we were doing that run up, right, to PlayStation VR and Oculus and everything else, it was like the hot thing. And oh my gosh. And it was like, what are the real legs on this? And then here we are where it's like, okay, cool. Like, it can only go so far, and does that meet people's expectations? Is PlayStation happy with that? They seem to be. Bethesda, as we talked about yesterday, seems to be happy with the sales of Skyrim VR and Fallout VR and all that jazz. But we will see how much longer that all goes. And then number 5, final news story for the day. We Happy Few. It got banned in Australia. Now it's getting reviewed. This is via Alex Walker over at Kotaku. In a press release this afternoon, the classification board from Australia has announced that it will be reviewing the refused classification ruling for We Happy Few. The review was triggered after the board received an appeal against We Happy Few's effective ban earlier this year. The ratings board has previously found that the prevalent use of joy, despite the overarching dystopian themes and the general principle of trying to subvert a society controlled by mood enhancers, was a violation of the classification guidelines. Quote, a player that takes joy can reduce gameplay difficulty, therefore receiving an incentive by progressing through the game quickly, end quote, the board's report said. In the press release announcing the review, the board said that they would meet on July 3rd. They also opened the floor to public submissions, saying that anyone who wished to stand as an interested party to this review could write in to the conveyor of the review board, either by email or through the postal address that Alex put below in his article. Thoughts, Andrea Renee?
I never understand what's happening in Australia with their ratings board. Why are you like this,
Australia? Why are you banning games left and right? Come on.
It's just so weird. Received an appeal. I wonder how many people need to send these appeals, or if it's just like one appeal will trigger it, or how that works. It kind of feels like these rating boards are very like subjective to begin with, that there's no real due process, so to speak. So I can imagine being frustrated if I was at Compulsion Games being like, well, this seems kind of ridiculous, but I don't know.
From what I saw, we saw it at Judges Week. We Happy Few. We played it, correct? Mm-hmm. This is always me being the thing. Like the embargo's up. The embargo's up.
It was one of my favorite games from Judges Week.
It was a lot of fun. Like I ran around enjoying it. The storytelling in that world was cool and interesting, and even just the environmental storytelling of the notes I was finding. Like I'm interested to see that final story mode get put out and what that game is. So it sucked that it gets banned for the use of joy or whatever, which is just part of the whole thing of these people are all hopped up on joy.
There's just so many games that have drugs in them.
Yeah, drugs are great.
Like think about Max Payne. It's like a giant mechanic in that game.
It's true.
I don't know.
And I said Australia stopped banning stuff, right? We have a question in Reader Mail that pertains to banning stuff.
Yes.
Today, PQ put out the following statement. PQ strives to release Japanese content for its fans as close to the source material as possible. In the case of Omega Labyrinth Z, while P-Cube has worked with all the relevant age rating bodies in their respective territories, P-Cube must respectfully comply with the wishes of the platform holder and have therefore withdrawn any future plans for Omega Labyrinth Z's European and North American release on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation Vita. Did you see this today?
I did not see this.
This is one of them, their visual novels. Basically, yeah, I guess PlayStation was pushing back, being like, we don't want to put this on the PSN. Like, we don't think this has a place for that because there are sexual themes in it and graphic stuff. The P-Cube tweet that puts out, this is a statement from their tweet. Like, this is our statement. We're not going to say anything more. Included 2 screenshots. One of which was like a fairy telling this girl she had to rub something between her breasts. And I was like, that's pretty right on the nose. The spot on of like, yeah, okay. We're like right there about it. Joshua Jones writes in, after hearing the news that P-Cube has canceled Omega Labyrinth Z for PlayStation 4 and Vita, made me a bit sad. Are you watching the trailer now?
I'm playing the trailer for everybody who's listening. But if you want to keep reading,
if you want to keep reading, you can go to P-Cube's Twitter where like they pulled their own screenshots. So I was like, because it was like, why did this game get banned? And then they put their own screenshots up, and I'm like, oh, I guess so.
Oh, we watched this already.
And the trailers here are just big old gargantuan breasts popping out. Like,
yeah, I feel like we've talked
did we watch
about this
I
already.
think I would remember this.
I definitely
trailer,
remember these boobs jiggling like this.
I don't know if I remember this, but yeah,
so it's basically just like a lot of anime girls who are in normal anime clothes, but then all of a sudden their boobs just pop out.
Yeah, they get really big, like as if some kind of, and I'm just spitballing here, some kind of growth enhancement serum thing was in the air. You know what I mean, Kevin?
Is
a mad
this
scientist.
a thing that exists?
I don't know. I'm just. Anyways, it's a fanfic I'm writing right now. No, not for the reason. So, anyways, I'm gonna start it with Joshua Jones's question.
Yeah.
After hearing the news that P-Cube has canceled Omega Labyrinth Z for PlayStation 4 and Vita, I was a bit sad. No, not for that reason. It is because it looks like a good roguelike game, like the hidden gem Sorcery Saga Curse of the Great Curry God for Vita. What are your takes on censorship?
That is a hidden gem.
That 100% is a hidden gem. What are your take on censorship? Should P-Cube, that has a stake on keeping games really close to how they released in Japan, a good... Oof, man, I'll tell you what, Joshua, some of the grammar in here. Basically, what do we think of this? Should P-Cube, their whole thing is that they want to keep it as close to Japan as possible, or should they have done a censored version? Once again, don't need it. Don't care if they censored all the perverted stuff like Atlas or Nintendo has done with their games. Thanks for reading this, Greg and Andrea.
It's a tough question that I don't think has black and white answers. Like, I approve of censorship and I disapprove because overall, I think censorship is something that is not beneficial in the world of art. However, there are some exceptions to the rule. While I think a game like this clearly services a specific, adult-leaning audience, there's a game like active shooter that I thought should have been banned universally by everybody. Yeah. And it's hard to have these conversations because there's a lot of people out there who don't want you to have it both ways. They're like, you either are for censorship or you're against it. Yeah. And I don't think it's that cut and dried. And that's why it's always challenging to talk about, particularly when it comes to sexual themes. Yeah. Because that varies so much between cultures and regions of the world, what is considered too sexual or across the sexual line versus what's not. Yeah. It really just kind of depends which country you're in.
Yeah. You nail it. I don't think it's easy either way. And I think, most notably recently was the Valve stuff, right? With Steam, where they were like, you know what? We fucked up by trying to take down these games that have been up forever. They had sexual content. We're going the opposite now. It's Wild West. You know what I mean? There's going to be stuff on here that offends you and doesn't, or it offends you or it doesn't offend you. But if you dig deep enough and find these things, we're looking to you to help curate it. They have some restrictions, obviously, of like not just people trolling, not just people doing this. I feel what I respect about that is they told you. Back to the PlayStation thing, and not that, like, I'm sure if you really want to dig somewhere, you'll find it. What is PlayStation's stance about this? Because it is, okay, this isn't approved. Okay, I understand that. Super Seducer wasn't approved. Like, that didn't get to come through and go through the game that was like the FMV video game of like, hey, don't say horrible things to girls. This will happen. But it was really about saying horrible things to girls. And then, of course, the whole top-rated 5-star trophy thing, right? Like, right. They don't need to spell it out for me. I'm not a developer. I'm just a gamer. And like, you can look at this stuff and see like, I understand why that's there. But I guess it's the fact that Valve now has a stance and a policy that's out there. And I feel like maybe for other developers, that's more wishy-washy. But I guess I'm not on that side of the industry, so I really don't know what it is either way. I don't mind that this game's been banned. Of course, I wasn't going to play it. I didn't mind that cross-account progression wasn't a thing on so many games until it affected me with Fortnite or something like that. Like, this is such a giant ball of wax, and there's so many different entry points to how it all goes. Should some things be censored and some things shouldn't? It's a hard question to answer, and I don't know what it is. I think if you're given rules from a platform holder, then I think it's okay. If that makes sense. In terms of if PlayStation wants to be, or let's just start saying Xbox, because I feel like I'm just saying PlayStation now. If Xbox wants to be super stringent or super lenient, that's on them, and that's then the choice of the developer to try to put it there. It's the choice of the gamer to buy it where they want to buy. If you are one of the people here, I already shut the question. Joshua Jones. If you are all against censorship and you don't agree with this thing, then I would say you should be buying more and more games on Steam or on Xbox if they haven't done something like this or made a statement counter to it, right? Like the whole thing is free market. It's what we talk about all the time, and why, with the Fortnite stuff with PlayStation, it is like bang a drum and this is what you're doing and show where you're spending money elsewhere, because that's how you have to speak with your dollars. But it's such a weird ball of wax, and there are so many different gray areas to it.
Yeah, and when we talk about platform, people wrongly think that they're entitled to whatever they want on the platform that they like. And it's a frustrating conversation to have over and over and over again, whether the platform is Google Play or it's YouTube or it's Twitch or it's PlayStation Network or wherever the platform is. Like, those are all private platforms that can make whatever rules they want, and they can change the rules whenever they want. It literally says that inside all of their terms of service.
It's like when you delete a comment from YouTube or something, or from wherever, somebody's being, I guess freedom of speech doesn't exist. I'm like, well, no, it doesn't. It literally doesn't exist on this platform.
Freedom of speech.
That's not what this means. Yeah.
But like, that's the conversation that we always come back to whenever something like this happens, or whenever censorship is highlighted. Yeah. So it's kind of exhausting. It's like, it sucks. But you know what? The good news is that there's so many other games to play. Yeah. I just don't think that any of these are really a hill to die on.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's just that weird thing of like, all right, so what makes, and I don't know this, and I'm sure somebody out there can tell me, and I know this game Labyrinth Xena, right? Based on this trailer and the 2 screenshots from PQ, but it is like, what makes that all that different from Criminal Girls, or what makes it all the different from Galgun? And I'm sure there are drastic things, because even when I was rubbing these underage girls in Criminal Girls, you know what I mean? When I was on that screen, just rubbing all over their bodies, Andrea, just wherever. I had to, Kevin. I had to. Champ. I was playing. Thank you for tossing the champ in there. Like, I guess they weren't being sexually explicit in how they were talking, right? Like, obviously this one is like shove something between your breasts and rub it. I don't know what that means.
I don't know what the specifics are or whose job it is to determine, like I said, where the line is as to what's appropriate and what's not appropriate.
That poor person.
And like, is part of this maybe that somebody at the Australian ratings board, saw this one game and was like, this is too far. But then if it had been somebody else that was reviewing this game, that would have been like, it's fine. I don't know. It's tough when you're talking about subjective stuff like ratings.
Move out of Australia and then put your money into the platforms that are doing the censorship the way you want it. Andrea.
Yes.
I can't wait for everybody to leave Australia and move here.
Right?
But it's going to take a long time.
It's
if
true.
I wanted more immediate news, like say what was in mom and grop shops today, where would I go?
Why, Greg, you would go to the official list of upcoming software across each and every platform as listed by the Kinda Funny Games Daily Show hosts each and every weekday.
Yeah. Out today. You get what? Pinball FX2 is putting out Back to the Future tables, Back to the Future table, Jaws table, and an ET table. They're calling it the Universal Classics Pinball. It's available in Pinball FX2 VR. For PlayStation VR. So you can play Back to the Future and Jaws and ET there. Airmail is on Switch. Atomine is on PS4. The Awesome Adventures of Captain Spirit is on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. RevX Shadows writes in to kindafunny.com/KFGD and says, hello, extremely respected and liked Kinda Funny Games Daily Show host. And Greg. I just finished playing the Captain Spirit free game, parentheses, even without the promise of achievements, which cut me to the core when I realized it. I have to say, this was a great way to pump me up for Life is Strange 2. I love the previous 2 games and was interested to see how Don't Nod would go forward with the series. And I think Chris is a great lead character dealing with some deep shit. He was a character I cared more about in this short episode. He was a character I cared more about in this short episode more than I ever cared about Chloe through 2 games.
Wow.
If you guys have played it yet, what did you think of the game? Thanks a bunch for all that you do. I hope one day to become a gaming journalist and get the chance to nerd out with all of you in your passions. I haven't played it and you haven't played it, right?
No, I'm playing it today.
Yeah. Yeah, I need to download it and get on it, but I'm interested too. I want to toss it in there for a ringing endorsement of a free game from a company we both like a lot, a series we both like a lot.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
And I did the E3 Coliseum with Michelle from Don't Nod at E3 this year, if you guys want to watch that interview. Facebook.com/E3 Expo. But I'm obviously very pumped for this. You're pumped for this.
Yeah.
I think it'll be great. I really like how they made it free specifically so that people can go back and replay it multiple times.
Yeah.
Or maybe play it on multiple platforms or whatever. So
good stuff. Yeah. If you want to watch me interview Michelle, you can go to youtube.com/kindoffunnygames on our GameSpot stage. Dimension Drive is on PlayStation 4. Cuba Color is on Switch. The Blob is on Switch. Donkey Kong Adventure comes to Mario, plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle on Switch. Far Cry 3 Classic Edition comes to PlayStation 4. Grave Danger comes to PlayStation 4. Hajawala comes to PlayStation 4. Luminous motherfucking Remastered comes to PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. I've been playing it. It is awesome. I love Luminous. It is back. Nier Automata Become as Gods Edition is on Xbox One. Rainbow Skies is on PlayStation 4, PS3, PlayStation Vita. Realms of Arcania Star Trail, damn it, is on PlayStation 4. Salaryman Escape VR is on PlayStation VR. Slimeson Super Slime Edition is on PlayStation 4. Sudden Strike 4 European Battlefields Edition is now available on Xbox One in North America. The King of Fighters Collection, the Oriochi Saga is on PlayStation 4. The Night Journey is on PlayStation 4. Trove Geode is on Xbox One. Ys 8 Lacrimosa of Dana is on Switch. World of Tanks Mercenaries is on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Xbox 360. And then Hardcore Mode has come as a free DLC to everybody with Kingdom Come Deliverance. The DLC is available on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. Deals of the day for you. Destiny 2 is having a free weekend on PlayStation 4, Friday through Monday. And then starting today, you can get the first 2 chapters of Unravel 2 on Xbox for a limited time. For free.
One more new date.
Toss it in there.
QuakeCon 2018 registration will be available beginning Friday, June 29th. General event registration ticket sales for the BYOC and swag pack purchases will begin at 7:30 p.m. Central Time.
You going to QuakeCon?
I believe I am.
Really?
Yeah.
Look at you.
I've gone to QuakeCon several times.
Yeah.
It's fun. Well, I mean,
do they just play Quake?
Of course not. They play all kinds of things. Guys, if you've never seen the BYOC at QuakeCon, it is a sight to behold. The custom builds that are there are absolutely incredible. But we talked to Pete, as you probably did, at E3, and he was talking about how they're going to show some behind closed doors demos of their new titles. But
that was just a good pregnant pause. We got there accidentally, and I was just like, I'll just let this ride and see what happens.
August 9th through the 12th.
August 9th through the 12th.
At the Gaylord Texan Resort in Dallas.
Dallas, Texas. Everybody loves it. Time for Reader Mail. But first, I'm going to tell you Reader Mail is brought to you by Hims. 4hims.com is a one-stop shop for hair loss, skincare, sexual wellness, and more for men. Hims connects you with real doctors and medical-grade solutions to treat hair loss. You get well-known generic equivalents to name-brand prescriptions to help you keep your hair. No snake oil pills or gas station counter supplements. Prescription solutions are backed by science. No waiting room, no awkward doctor visits. You can save hours by going to 4hims.com, just like the chump Nick Scarpino and the Hispanic heartthrob Andy Cortez did. They are both using 4Hims products. It's simple. You take photos of your hair, you send it in, they ask you questions. If you need you, they put you to a doctor to talk to, and then they send you the stuff that you need. Right now, my listeners can get a trial month of Hims for just $5 right now while supplies last. You see the website for full details. This would cost hundreds if you went to the doctor or pharmacy. Go to 4hims.com/gamesdaily. That's FORHIMS.com/gamesdaily. 4hims.com/gamesdaily. Be like Andy and Nick, except for the part where Nick loses the championship to me all the time. Andrea.
Yes.
Doruk Evcim writes in thekindoffunny.com/KFGD and says, "What's good, Greg and Andrea? Now that E3 has been done for a while, I think it is high time you look back at the Walmart Canada leaks and see how many of them actually got announced, as you said you would a bunch of times before the show. Keep chucking that fickin'. He got me there for a second. I had to double look at that one. I was like, wait, what is he saying?
Let me zoom in here.
Yeah, I printed it out, and let me tell you, our printer is on its last legs. It is not giving out sharp things at all. So hold on. Here's the Wario 64.
I've zoomed in.
Okay.
I'm ready to go.
So you can start. I'm trying to get. How do you open the specific out there? Kevin, why is life so hard? Kevin, why did you make life so hard for me? Open image, new tab. Kevin, come pet me. All right, here we go. So if you remember, we had a bet.
Do you want to?
I believe.
Do you want to keep a tally mark of all the ones that got announced?
Sure. I believe we said the bet was between Andrea and I that she believed this Walmart Canada leak was real. And I said, not every one of these games will be there. And you said, no, it's a real thing, and I will give you $100 if one of the games isn't there.
That is definitely not the way the bet went
I said
at
for
all.
sure. It's not the $100 thing, all right? But it was very much that I said, this is not all real. These are educated guesses. So let's go.
Okay, first up, Tom Clancy's The Division 2, real.
Yeah, but was that announced beforehand, or was that there?
For the Walmart Canada leak?
Yeah. Because remember, they put out the Division 2 ahead of time before then.
I don't know.
I'll give it to you.
This is a kindoffunny.com/you're wrong. Let us know. Splinter Cell didn't happen. Insurgency Sandstorm. Did that happen? Don't know.
Don't even know what the fuck that game is. Yeah, no, I'm saying that's fake.
The Last of Us 2, real.
But
we already knew it was real.
You want me to put that as real?
I mean, of course it's real. If it's real, it's real.
No.
Yes, if it's real, it's fucking real.
We knew about The Last of Us 2 forever.
So what?
That's not what this was. It was the thing of, are these...
But it's not a lie, right?
I hate you so much. Oh my God, you're playing fast and loose with this.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Fine, it was real. The game that was already announced.
Right.
Oh, you're
Just
a monster.
Cause 4 was real. WWE 2K19, real.
No presents at E3. I refuse to give you that point.
Okay. The Assassin's Creed Origins Helix thing, I think that's just microtransactions for Assassin's Creed, so we can like discount that one if you want.
Okay.
Dragon Quest 2, not real. Because it's Dragon Quest 11.
Yeah.
Far Cry 5, that's
DLC.
more
Who cares?
DLC. Then we have Just Cause 4 for Xbox, that's real.
Yeah, I talked about it,
Destiny Comet, that's technically real. But it's Destiny
Fast
Forsaken.
And loose. You were playing
Comet's
fast
the
and
code
loose,
word,
woman.
though.
All right, fine.
Final Fantasy VII Remake. Well, we
Not
know
there.
it's
Fake.
real, but we don't have a release date at all.
Yeah.
Metroid Prime 4, we know is real, but we don't have a release date.
Fake.
NBA 2K19, real. Super Smash Bros, real. Borderlands 3, sadly not real.
Told ya. Listen to Greg, he's
Assassin's
champion.
Creed is real, but they don't have Odyssey there. So are we going to accept that or not?
Assassin's Creed was coming out one new game a year. I don't know.
No, they were.
That's the whole point.
No, because they took last year off, and this year was the year we were going to find out if they were going back to annual releases or if they weren't.
That was the whole point. We
still don't technically know if they're going back to annual releases.
We can just stop because I've been proven correct that there was that they didn't all happen. That this was an educated guess by somebody at Walmart Canada.
Yes.
Now, and I don't get me wrong. I'm sure at least one of these was like
some of them aren't though. Like Lego DC Villains, they didn't.
That had already been leaked. That had been leaked.
Well, I mean, but like, okay, let's see here. Let's look through the rest of these. Rage 2.
Rage 2 is huge. That was like the biggest.
There's no way they fucking guessed that.
Sure.
Right? So,
but this was my problem. Remember, it was just that I thought many of these could be educated guesses.
Yeah.
Borderlands 3 is an educated guess.
Right.
That you're like, oh, well, we're there. It's probably going to happen.
Correct.
So I was right, you were wrong, is basically what I'm saying.
Sure, Greg.
Get a chip!
I got him! Ring him up, Kev! Another one bites the dust.
Oh my God.
Throw her on the pile with Nick Scarpino.
Oh, she's getting us a pizza.
And all those fucks from Funhouse.
Let's order that pizza now.
We're ordering pizza? Oh, is it pizza bet?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, nice.
Somebody who's watching the show on Twitch, please look up what the bet was and write into You're Wrong and let us know what the actual bet was.
Andrew, I think just to be safe,
do you remember which date of the show that was? Are you looking up the date of the show?
No, God, no. You think we keep that comprehensive of notes over here? I'm opening up You're Wrong because I'm sure somebody's in. Oh, Jesus, God. Oh, good. I just had to clear out. Now it's already still pretty
May 9th, I think. So it'll be a show around that date. It'll be either the 9th or the 10th for Games Daily, if somebody wants to look it up.
I'm sure they already know.
Just to be safe, you can get a pizza for us.
just to be safe.
I'll tell you what. You know what happened, Andrea? Is I got logged out of all my Google accounts because they're like,
I'm looking at it right.
safe.
I'm looking at it right now.
Keep everything safe, and I'm like, it's already safe. Everything was safe, and now I got to. What account can I log in that isn't view only, so I can delete all these things that don't matter? God, Kevin, why is life so rough? Kevin, it's just so rough. You know, I just want to go to bed and play Fortnite, eat some wings. That's it. That's all I want.
What about some pizza? Everybody's talking about it.
You're talking about it, and I'm not stopping you from talking about it.
The Division 2 was confirmed to GameSpot on March 10th, 2018.
Let it go. You were wrong. It's okay.
I mean, the Twitch chat.
I'm just saying.
The
You
Twitch
wanted to
chat
know.
wrote into kindoffunny.com/you're wrong. It says Kevin is right. Buy him pizza.
Really?
I don't know if that's enough confirmation, but yeah.
It sounds right, dude.
Listen, I'll buy you a pizza just to shut you both up.
Whoa!
You gotta admit you're wrong, too.
Darth Blarg writes in to kindoffunny.com/KFGD just like you can. It says, what's good, Kind of Funny? I have a question about Anthem. What do you think the chances are that it gets delayed again? After seeing the E3 demo, I think it'll be delayed. However, my BFF, parentheses, the guy who originally told me about Kind of Funny, shout out to you, Christian, and parentheses. Thanks, Christian, by the way. This is Greg saying that. Thinks it will launch on February 22nd. As we game share on Xbox, he wanted to place a wager. If it doesn't get delayed, I have to buy the game. But if it does get delayed, he has to buy it. What's your opinion? Should I take him up on that? Thanks for everything you do. Lastly, which came first, the chicken or the Greg? That got me, Darth. Andrea, is it getting delayed? You're a big Anthem fan?
I am.
You debuted it to the world on the E3 stage?
Well, I technically didn't debut it. They debuted it at E3 2017. But
well, apparently, The Last of Us is fucking all confirmed by Walmart Canada, even though we knew the goddamn game existed. So what does it matter? We can just play fast and loose with everything.
Get us the pizza.
You know that they would have wrote into "you're wrong" if I had agreed with you. They'd have been like, "Excuse me, Andrea." Listen, I hope against hope, like many BioWare fans out there, that they will not delay this game because I'm very excited for it, especially after playing it multiple times at E3 because it was so good I had to go back for another round.
Yeah.
I'm really excited. However, February 22nd, crowded day.
Yeah.
There's like 4 major AAA games coming out that day, and February is looking like it's going to be a crowded month overall. However, I have a strong inkling that they have to get this out before the end of their fiscal, which means if it's going to be delayed, it won't be delayed beyond March. So like it might be pushed off the 22nd into the middle of March or the end of March, but I won't be delayed beyond that.
Interesting.
Is my hypothesis. No, I don't.
It's a great question because I do feel like it's not a safe bet to make this bet and have the game on the line right now, Darth. I do think it has a high probability. It has a chance. It has a high chance of being delayed. Mm-hmm. But the issue then, there's so many things to run through of is their fiscal year, their EA, but then is it the same thing of BioWare can't have another Mass Effect Andromeda? And I don't mean that Mass Effect Andromeda was a terrible game, but it was a game, right, that seemed like it was released
with some issues,
so it
real
seems like,
critical issues.
It seems like that game should have been delayed, but probably wasn't because of a fiscal year. You assume.
Right.
So like, do they want to do that again or will they not, And this is a much more complicated game with it being, I think it's going to get delayed.
I don't because I think they have all hands on deck right now.
Yeah.
And they didn't for Andromeda. They had people working on Anthem and working on Andromeda and supposedly working on Dragon Age 4, according to Mark. Yeah. So I think now that Mark has been shifted off of what he was working on and hopefully his team to help finish Anthem, that they're going to hit their deadline. And it looked really good what I played.
No, don't get me wrong. Yeah,
so
the game looks great.
I'm very hopeful for this game.
Okay.
I just want it. Please.
Bet.
I was gonna say I'll make a pizza bet on today as we debate another pizza bet.
Okay, we can do that.
I think it'll get delayed. I think it'll get delayed.
So we're just saying delayed or not delayed, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and we're betting what a pizza?
A pizza, yeah.
Okay.
You can change it to some other food if you don't want a pizza. That's fine.
Round table, extra red sauce.
All right, you're just playing the sidelines over there trying to eat the pizza that falls off me.
Okay, I'll make this bet.
Pizza bet?
Not delayed.
Okay, delayed. No February 22nd Anthem is what I said. Nick, I'm sorry. Kevin, I'm going to need your help with Nick's question. And Andrew, I don't know where you stand on this one. It'll be interesting. Nick wrote into kindoffunny.com/KFGD and says, I've put over a month straight of playtime into GTA 5. Most of that in GTA Online, but fell off when the DLC started getting really crazy. It's all fun and I'm fine with the Doomsday heists and jetpacks and flying DeLoreans, but it's just not for me. With the announcement of the new nightlife activities, nightclubs and such, this was announced today, I feel like this might be enough to pull me back in. My question is, where do you guys stand with GTA Online, and what do you think about this new DLC pack? Andrea, did you ever get into GTA Online?
No.
Interesting, because you're Miss Multiplayer in a lot of ways.
I love multiplayer games. GTA is just not the game for me.
Yeah.
If you remember, I was on the Gamescast a long time ago.
The Gamescast.
Where we talked about GTA 5. It was back when you guys were in your old apartment.
Sure.
And I had just said that I just didn't like it. Not that it was a bad game.
Period.
I just didn't like it. I think it's a technical achievement in game making. I think the animation's amazing. I think the systems and the level design and the music and everything is like really awesome. Just not for me.
That's fair.
You know? Just like a game like Dragon Quest. Really cool. Not for me.
Kevin.
Yeah.
We gave it the college try of getting into GTA Online.
I mean, did we? Because I feel like we started getting into it, and then Monster Hunter came, and it knocked us off our boats.
That sounds right.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
But I mean, do you have, like, here's the thing. We're obsessed with Fortnite right now. We're playing Fortnite left and right.
Sure.
Every time we play Fortnite, you like to do the thing of, it sucks we're not playing PUBG.
PUBG's better. And I don't think I do that every time.
You do, every time. At least once a Fortnite session, you bring up PUBG, for sure. You don't, however, ever bring up GTA.
GTA is too complicated.
Right.
We never. It wasn't ever simple for us to start playing and go.
Yeah.
Well,
PUBG real easy. You know.
And I think you're in a point now where the people that are playing in GTA Online are so advanced and have been in the ecosystem for so long that it might be hard to jump in. But I am looking forward to whatever Red Dead 2's online is going to be. Really pumped
No, but
for
I mean like matchmaking.
Yeah, it wasn't even.
Getting in the
Our
same
struggles
thing.
were never that.
It wasn't for Peanut.
We were getting like sniped or whatever, and just put in passive mode. It was the fact of, cool, it's us four idiots, and we want to play with other people. Tim, where are you? What is going? Why can't we get you? And then you're like lost in the menus that are like super, I think, complicated.
Yeah, see, I never
and clunky
attempted that.
and weird. Yeah, it was just a pain in the ass. And break out your cell phone. Well, this isn't it. I'm trying to get to Kevin. Well, this I keep getting calls from everybody. No, this is annoying. It just wasn't. It wasn't a quality of life experience that I enjoyed. And so, like, even with the GTA gameplay of existing in the world, it didn't work. And then, Monster Hunter came around. It's way better. And now
Monster
Fortnite's
Hunter.
here, way better.
Man, we should boot up Monster Hunter just for old time's sake.
We should. There's new monsters and stuff to do.
Exactly like I predicted.
I always said we'll come back, and we will come back.
No, we won't, because now we have Fortnite and maybe someday PUBG.
Well, it's possible PUBG might get better.
There you go.
I'm not gonna knock him.
Yeah.
Anyways, if I didn't put on any of the news today because we don't usually cover the GTA stuff, but GTA is getting a major upgrade. It says in July with this nightlife mode, so you can go find out more about that from your video game website or personality of choice who talks about GTA, because it certainly ain't us. Not that we hate it. I love GTA 5. I love GTA 5. Just the online didn't click for me. Very excited for Red Dead.
I don't know how this happened, but breaking news: What's Good Games is featured on a 10 must-listen podcast for tweens and teens. Who knew?
Bring them tweens over here, because
No,
Nick Scarpino would love to talk to them.
You guys are not safe for tweens.
Nick would love to talk to some
Not that
tweens.
I think What's Good Games is really safe for tweens either, but
You guys are your alcohol dependencies on every episode.
well, we do have a "That's What She Said" pillow that we reference. Well, really, Brittany references every episode.
I told you, Britt's the problem. Bypartisan Gamer writes into kindafunny.com/KFGD and says, Nick. No, we're talking positive things about you.
No, he's definitely talking shit
I'll
about
recap
you.
everything and you get on the shock mic. Kevin, is the shock mic up?
Probably.
I will recap everything and you tell me if this is shit talking or not.
Go for it.
What's Good Games has apparently been featured now on top 10 podcasts for teens and tweens.
Okay.
And I said to Andrea, get those tweens over here because Nick Scarpino would love to talk to them.
I have the mind of a tween.
Yeah.
I think. I
Yeah,
think I'm
you
forever
do.
stuck in the tween mentality.
Yeah.
For sure.
Sure. There you go.
Okay.
See? That's what I meant it as.
I'm
I
not
didn't mean
insulted by that.
Good. There you go.
You're just calling space, spade.
Calling space, spade.
There it is.
You do act like a 12-year-old on the regular.
Most of the time, I try to. Yeah.
Then we get to
Sometimes it's by accident.
Then we get to fucking angry alcoholic dad mode. We're like, whoa.
Every now and again,
Why is he yelling at the coffee
every now and
maker?
again, you guys show the Keurig who's boss.
Bipartisan Gamer. And by the way, did we ever talk to you about that?
Nope, let's not.
Sit down on the microphone and make eye contact with me, all right? I want to apologize to you.
Okay.
The Dunkin' Donut pods, they just don't work with that Keurig.
There's no apologies necessary.
I got it to work a few times, and then yesterday I tried a million times with one pod.
That's inaccurate, and here's why. Because the Dunkin' Donut pods worked for like a year and a half.
Right.
And they were our favorite coffee.
Amazon screwed us.
It's not... There was that one time we tried to go over to, like, I think it was a Pete's Coffee, or it was like a French roast that was like fucking black tar.
Yeah.
It was like gasoline and black tar mixed together.
Sure.
And then we got like a blonde roast that was just not... The Dunkin' Donuts, very nice for the 5th cup of coffee you're going to have that day. That's right. You know?
Now we got these Starbucks pod. We're doing fine.
They're not bad.
Bypartisan Gamer writes into kindafunny.com/KFGD and says, with Alana Pierce leaving IGN, I have a question. Is IGN struggling to keep their staff? It seems like every few months, top name talent is leaving the company. What do you think? Bypartisan Gamer. Well, Bypartisan Gamer. As someone who left IGN, no, I mean, like, I'm not on the inside of like them hemorrhaging, but I don't think they're hemorrhaging people, right? Alana left, yes. Congratulations. Can't wait to see where she ends up. She put up a YouTube video talking about all this. She's playing Kinda Funny Prom, another reason to come to Prom. But what, before that, are you referencing Naomi leaving? And they're hiring a bunch of people. They got that woman from New Orleans whose name's escaping me right now.
Oh yeah, Jackie, right?
Is that right?
Yeah.
And then
she's lovely. She interviewed me at E3. She's very tall.
Yes. Very tall from what I hear.
She's really good at what she does.
And they got
shout out to Jackie.
Another new host whose name's escaping. They're hiring as much as people are going, and people come and go from IGN all the time. If I could sit here, Nick and I could list so many names, right? The name amongst names, Brendan Ayub, right? Came and went.
And they just hired Tina not that long ago.
Right, yeah, no,
it was
I
like
don't...
the new head of all their gaming content.
I don't think IGN's struggling to keep their staff. I think it's just the normal rollover. I think, I said this when we left and started Kinda Funny, that the day of an 8-year editor at IGN, like I did, and like Nick was there for 9, I think those days are done, not because of anything IGN's doing wrong, just because of the world of opportunities we all have at our fingertips now. And you can see that you can go out and do something on your own or join up with a different crew, or when like, Alana's YouTube videos very much, it echoed a lot of things we had said when we started Kinda Funny, of like, she wanted to do more creative stuff, and that was not aligned with what IGN wouldn't allow on a YouTube channel, and that's fine and that's cool and it's not a big deal.
I think it's healthy too. I think it's healthy there to be a fair amount of turnover, because you're also allowing some people who may not get the opportunity to come up and really cut their teeth at a place like IGN, which by the way is a phenomenal place to do that at. And I think it's smart for Alana. I think, I watched a video with you yesterday. I think kudos to her for being like, I need the next challenge.
Yeah, that's the big thing. True.
Awesome.
And that was what we ran into as well. As we got there and it was like, all right, well, there's no more mountains to climb here. What do we need to do?
Leave. You always got to leave before you get
thrown out.
Before you peaked.
Well, or before you get because I hit a point where I was like, I'm angry at everyone here. And
Die the hero, become the villain.
It's not their fault. Exactly.
Yeah, you became the
it's
villain.
Not Fran's fault that I don't get to do like the stuff that I'm doing now. That's just not the organization. I'm gonna blame Fran for it anyway.
That's final question is a simple one. Joshy Barron writes into kindafunny.com/KFGD and says, I want to know whether or not to get into Friday the 13th, the game.
Yes, do it.
No, don't.
What?
They can't make any more content. They're done. The game's ending. They're saying they're going to support it with maintenance, but that can only last so long. And isn't it like bug fixes and maintenance and stuff? Like, the game was awesome and I loved it, and I still want to play more before it all goes to shit. But this lawsuit has frozen the game development. They're not going to work on it anymore.
I didn't hear about the lawsuit.
Oh yeah, no, that's the whole thing. Is that the guy who worked on the original Friday the 13th, and I might be butchering this.
Let me look it up.
The guy who somehow was involved with the original Friday the 13th has a lawsuit going about the IP with the people who have the IP rights now, right? This didn't affect the game for the longest time. Now it does affect the game. So they literally can't create any new content for it. And that means, sure, counselors are Jasons, but it also means bridges or cabins. All they're allowed to do is bug fix and maintenance. And this comes right after they put out their biggest patch that I had problems with it that they were fixing on and doing stuff as they moved to their new engine. So it feels like I love it, and I love Gun, and I love Ilphonic and everything they did. I feel like this is the canary in the coal mine, that this game is not long for this world, that they're going to keep it running for a while, but as numbers continue to drop off and drift away, I don't think so. Maybe if you can get it on a sale and you only want to play it for a couple weeks.
How do they not come to an agreement where they both can keep making money?
People are jerks.
Right? Yeah. Like, come on. Who doesn't like money?
Just let them keep making the game. The game was fun and we enjoyed it a lot. I don't know why I got to do this.
That's a bummer.
Andrea!
Yes, Greg?
It's time to squad up.
Okay, let's do it.
This is where one of you writes into kindafunny.com/KFGD. Give me your name, username, platform of choice, and why you need help in a video game. I read it here. The best friends come and find you, and everybody plays games together. Today, Chad Thurlow needs help on PlayStation 4. His PSN is ChadTrain55, all one word. Looking to play more multiplayer and get outside my single-player bubble. Currently playing The Division and Fortnite. Also down to play other stuff, just let me know. Hit me up! Everybody, if you want to play games with a kind of funny best friend on the PlayStation 4 named ChadTrain55, hit him up. Kevin, from the Kind of Funny Press Pool, you have a question?
When are we going to start playing The Division? What's up with that?
Yeah, I know. This our Fortnite obsession came on out of the blue.
It's hard.
We have to get those shields at some point.
I'm ready.
But I think we should probably just keep playing Fortnite until we're tired of playing Fortnite all the time.
I don't know if that's going to happen.
Well, then I guess we play Fortnite.
I see
the rest of our lives.
Fortnite being a long-lasting game.
Good for me. Maybe just when it's like, you know how like, right now we're just at high addiction level.
Well, that's
where
the
it's
thing.
like all I want to do is fucking play Fortnite and not do anything else.
And I get what you're saying, but in 12 days, that's all going to get revamped. Yeah.
New pass, yeah.
They really figured out, these Fortnite kids. The Epic boys.
Yeah.
And
I think
girls.
someone there did drugs once
You know what I meant.
and understood
You know
how to
what I
get you
meant.
hooked
Do I,
on drugs.
Kevin?
Yeah, 100% you do.
Whatever, pizza boy. You just be quiet over there.
Do you order the
Damn.
pizza yet, or do you want me to do it? Can you just give me your credit card? You lost the bet. The champ won again.
all I
Nobody
do.
actually wrote in about the
All I do
actual
is
bet.
win, no matter what. Time for You're Wrong. This is where you guys keep us honest. Remember, we do this show off the top of our head. Sometimes we screw things up. You write in to kindoffunny.com/you're wrong and tell us what we messed up so we can read it here and set the record straight. For everybody watching later on youtube.com/kindoffunnygames and listening on podcast services around the globe. Andrea, what did we get wrong?
Jeff291 says, for what it's worth in Pokemon, you can't import your Pokemon from Go until you get to the Poke Park in Fuchsia City, which is a little more than halfway through the game.
There you go, Britt Bromrocker.
I don't know if this counts. They're trying to do a You're Wrong from the most recent Gamescast?
No, he's talking about solstices and shit. We don't care. This is about did we get something wrong in video games? Stuff that matters. Nobody cares about science.
Oh, this is a good one from Zyger. He says, PSA, everyone going to Kind of Funny Prom, please update your Mario Kart 8 Deluxe as Mario Kart 8 cannot locally play between different versions of the game. Everyone come prepared with the newest version of MK8.
Do your Fortnite 2. Do your Mario Tennis Aces 2.
Dennis says that Mario Tennis Aces has swing mode where you can play using motion controls.
There you go. Then let's make a racket with this cardboard.
Lord of Pone says you can get sales figures of Nintendo Labo in Japan. It apparently sold about double God of War in the first week.
Damn.
But I would love to know what those numbers are. Lord of Pone, where are the numbers?
In
if
Japan,
you want global
Andrea, he
numbers,
said they're in
Nintendo
Japan.
usually gives numbers during their investor meetings compared to other numbers. That's cool. I want to know how much it is.
Go to Japan, they'll tell you.
Go to Japan. Twitch chat. Someone in the Twitch chat. Nope, this is dumb. I'm not gonna read it. Oh yes, Lord of Pone. Regarding QuakeCon, on August 10th, they will be live streaming the Doom Eternal reveal.
Nice. Well, Andrew WK be there.
God, I hope so. Let's see here. Max D37 says Insurgency Sandstorm is a real game, but it is a small title compared to the others. It's a modern military shooter made by a small indie studio and a sequel to the fairly well-received game released on Steam in 2015 named Insurgency.
Great, thank you.
We already read this Division one. People talking about pizza.
Yeah, what are they saying?
Lucar Wolf with some zingers. Greg, you'll go back to GTA 5 the same way you went back to Persona 5.
At no point did I say I was going to go back to GTA Online. Suck my dick.
Zanfair said, here's a list if it helps to correct the Walmart Canada announcements. After the Walmart posts that were not already announced, so these are the ones that Walmart Canada leaked that weren't announced: Just Cause 4, Lego DC Villains, Destiny Comet, Assassin's Creed, Rage 2, Forza Horizon 5, which was Forza Horizon 4 like we predicted,
Sure.
Gears of War 5, which we forgot to mention, and WWE 2K19. And
Yeah, the Walmart Canada really went out on a limb with WB or WWE being a game this year.
it's like saying Madden
Exactly.
19. Like we knew that was happening. LOL. Okay.
That's
it.
Oh.
This Friday the 13th news has me kind of bummed.
You missed it, huh?
I missed it. I totally missed it.
Well, there you go. Yeah, it's and it got worse because it was like, well, we can't make new content while the litigation's going on. And then the kids were like, okay, cool. Well, after litigation's done, you can do it. And then they had to come up and be like, well, no, we can't put the entire studio on hold until this. Like we just have to say we're done now. We're just done making content and move on to another project because we can't sit here and wait
bummer.
or make content hoping that one day we get to publish it and make money.
Well, I think the silver lining here is they can hopefully take all of the experience they got making this game and make something new.
Yeah.
Was it Tuesday the 10th or something you said?
Yeah, somebody was talking about Sunday the 15th or whatever they wanted to do. And I was like, that's a little too on the nose. You're not going to get away with that. It's got to be a little. If you didn't know, ladies and gentlemen, this has been Kinda Funny Games Daily. Each and every weekday on a variety of platforms, we run you through the nerdy video game news you need to know about. If you like that, like the show. You know, go over to the YouTube, click the like button, do that, subscribe to the channel, support us on Patreon. You got podcast services, subscribe there. We're now on this Google, the Android Google podcast thing some kid tweeted me about. Google put out a new Android podcast service today.
Oh, they did?
Yeah. I quote tweeted it. So it's out there. So if you got the Google Androids, Kevin, there you go. You're speaking to your watch, hey Google, subscribe to all the Kinda Funny podcasts, and then it'll order you menswear. Because the watch doesn't work.
Google Podcast is literally what it's called.
Yep, there you go. Told you. Duh. Isn't that what I said? Come on, guys. Come on.
Right again, champ!
Thank you, Kev. We'll be back tomorrow. Remember, we do this every day. It's the nerdy video game news. I don't feel like doing the polished rigmarole, so I'm not going. Instead, what I'll tell you, tomorrow's host is Gary Whitta.
Yay, he's back!
Gary Whitta's back doing the show tomorrow. Very exciting. Andrea's over on What's Good.
That's me.
Do that. What, did I freak you out with this?
Yeah, you
I
did.
saw you like, ah!
I didn't know what was happening.
Yeah, who knows anything. Until next time, it's been our pleasure to serve you.
Now let's get a pizza.